So, welcome everybody. Lovely to see you. Thank you for those of you who are watching. I am so proud to be able to do this, my first Zoom interview with the wonderful, amazing Irene Gannaway, also known as my mum. Is it okay if I call you mum?
Of course.
I know, because I do have, say, some colleagues that when they do work with one of their parents, they have this thing of calling them by their first name, and I just kind of think, no, for me that's a little bit weird.
No.
We did do it one time.
If you call me mum, I can call you babe, can I?
You can call me whatever you like. So, babe is fine. So, my Mum and me were talking this week about some of the ups and downs, the many ups and downs in terms of mood that many of us have been experiencing over these last 12 weeks. They really have been quite a yo-yo, and actually I have got my yo-yo there. So they really have, because sometimes we might have been finding, I know certainly I have, that we could be, say, fine one day, and then the next day totally as flat as a pancake, and then the day after that fine, without any kind of like rhyme or reason. So I thought I would bring Mum into this, because Mum not only is somebody who's been shielding for the last 12 weeks, lives on her own. In addition to that, she has been a contributing author in this wonderful book, Ready to Rise, and my mum's section in here is called From Stuck to Safe. And if there's any of you that haven't bought it yet, you can still buy it. And for those of you that have, thank you very much, because all the proceeds go to the World Health Organization and NHS charities together. So my mum is now officially a published author, and a best-selling one at that. So, and Mum's was called From Stuck to Safe, and that was all about just kind of changing your mindset from being stuck at home to being safe at home. And she discussed it. I'm not going to say anything more about that, because you have to buy the book to read it.
That's blackmail, Wendy. That's blackmail.
Yeah, whatever. You taught me everything I know. And in pre-COVID times, very often I'd go to Mum's on a Friday night and have a bit of tea before Mum went off to bingo down her club, and I'd go off to badminton. And very often we would do some Facebook lives and share some words of wisdom. So as these are slightly different times, we've managed to get ourselves together on Zoom, and we had a little bit of a fun and a bit of a hair pulling out moment trying to do it, but here we are. So what you also may not know about my mum is she's not just an amazing mum, she's got this incredible professional background, and this is where she gets all modest and goes all a bit like, oh, this professional background with 22 years working with the Samaritans, a few of those as director of 2 branches. And part of what she did there also involved being after dinner speaker and talking about how things affect our moods, our depressions, and all say the sorts of things that we might be experiencing now. So I thought it would be really good to talk to Mum to see if we can bring some kind of understanding as to what being stuck, or as I was sharing on LinkedIn, a funk day, F-U-N-K day, actually really is. So if I start off, Mum, by saying, what can cause some of those stuck days in your experience?
Well, it can be a mixture of things, especially if you are on your own. It can be a day when you don't get a telephone call and you think, oh, if only I could speak to somebody. not necessarily knocking at the door and chatting like that, but just to have a telephone call. And sometimes you hope it's a wrong number or a cold caller, but with the lockdown, we don't get many cold callers who want to sell you insurance.
Yeah.
So it can be very empty.
Yes.
Even if you have good neighbours have their own jobs to do and their own probably families that they've got to support. So they can't be everywhere doing everything. So that can be one of the causes of a not so good day, shall we say.
And I've used that term quite a lot, and I certainly used it in my post today, calling it as a not so good day. And I guess even with neighbours, where yes, they have their things to do, even if they're with family or they're living with somebody, it can also be possible to experience a sense of stuck, a sense of loneliness, even when you are with somebody. Sense, yeah. It's a real strange one. I think certainly I've come across people that have been working from home, and they've been really, really busy working from home by all the wonders of the virtual screens and the virtual apps, but they still kind of say, I just feel so empty. And it was picking up your words there about that feeling of emptiness. And
well, I sorry.
No, go for it. No, go for it.
I think it is true, because it's what you hear people saying quite a few times, especially when I was at the Samaritans, is that you can be alone when you're in a crowd.
Yes.
And especially with the lockdown, you may be with your partner or your friend or whoever it might be 24 hours a day, where without a lockdown, you're not used to that. You're with them for, well, probably quite a few hours.
Yes.
And you suddenly think, well, what should we do? We've done this, we've done that, we've talked about this. What else is there? Oh, can be, if only we had Sanso popping in for a cup of tea, gives us something else to talk about. And then when they go, you talk about what they've said, and it leads to conversation. And so whether you're on your own or whether you're with a partner, it can still be lonely.
Yes. And it's a horrible feeling. And I think I've said to you, I said that there's been times over these 12 weeks that I've felt feelings that I've never felt in my life, and loneliness has been one of those things. And I guess being in a bit more of a resourceful day today and a resourceful week, thankfully, this week, I kind of look at that and thinking, well, thank goodness I felt that, because now I can be much more authentic and empathetic when somebody feels that way, whether they say it or kind of noticing the signs. Mum, in your experience, what can we do if we're feeling that sense of stuck, that sense of emptiness? What can we do to work through it?
Well, it can be difficult, but one of the things that I've found, and I know some of my friends who's in the same position have found, is that don't fight it. Don't fight trying to get out of depression or unhappiness, because you know that it will pass. It will definitely. I mean, it probably doesn't seem like that at the time, but it will pass. So if you can just let it come, accept it in a way that, which sounds, not very good, but and just wait for that good day or that good hour, that good minute, when suddenly you think, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I don't feel so bad now. I think I'll go and do this, or I'll read that, or I'll talk to so-and-so. Well, yeah, I must do that. So then you suddenly have something that can occupy yourself without knowing it. And even when you're sitting maybe on your own, we'll take that as a, and instead of fighting it, let it come and take a deep breath and, in a way, relax. Don't keep fighting. Fighting is very tiring. So just let it come. Do what you've got to do, not necessarily what you want to do, but what you've got to do. And just wait. And usually waiting is the worst time with anything, when you're waiting for results or whatever. But just really try to think that one day, 1 hour, 1 minute, this will pass. And that way you have something to look forward to. And even if you're worried about something, think of something else that you can worry about, because in a way it gives your brain a rest from the first worry, because you've got something else to worry about, and it takes your mind off the first one. I know it seems ridiculous, but sometimes it works.
And do you know, I'm just taken from that is it would just change, it would be enough to change your focus. It would just be just enough to change your focus. Something else to worry about, you know, can I worry about something different? It would just be enough to change your focus, and that might be just enough to give you a little bit of respite, even for a few minutes. You never know, maybe an hour, or maybe something else.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, because I think there's so often when we're in that kind of horrible space, and I know I felt this, some very well-intentioned people will try and fix me and go, oh, just think like this. Oh no, you just need to change that voice in your head to that. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it really, really doesn't. And I think remembering how we were immediately after Dad left us, all the wise words in the world wouldn't help. You just kind of go through that space and you come out the other side. Then you might hit another one, then you come out the other side, thinking, yeah, it's kind of like a lot like that in some ways, I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh wow, Mum, you're amazing. You're amazing. So I guess in summarising this, as I've seen a little notification come up on the top of my screen saying you've got 4 minutes left. I think in summarising this, stuck days, it's normal to feel stuck. Even in pre-COVID times, it's normal. It's normal. Even when you're working, to be stuck at something, even if you're trying to remember the name of that person who was in such and such a film. It's natural to kind of think, who was it? And then you kind of do something different, even focusing on something else, and it comes.
Well, I think, you know, when we're saying stuck at the moment because we are stuck indoors, but whatever's happening, you know, in your life when you're feeling stuck, take it as that's a part of your life. And if you never felt stuck, how would you understand other people who do feel stuck?
Yes.
At least you can get some idea of how some people feel.
Yeah.
Where, right, some of us are on our own and we don't have anybody to talk to or speak to, or obviously people don't visit while we're like this, but we are still so lucky. We are still lucky, and you think of the things that could be going on with us. We are lucky.
We are. And you know, Mum, I'm going to leave it there, because I feel very, very lucky to have you as a mum. Getting all emotional now. I feel very, very lucky to have you as a mum, and that you are safe and that we are all safe. So I feel very, 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 very blessed. And there you go, guys. There's something for all of us. There's something to learn from all of us, and there is a lot of learning during this time. And I think sometimes we don't always acknowledge that the learning process can be pretty damn uncomfortable at times. That's part of being in the learning zone. So this too shall pass. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks so much, Mum. Lovely to see your smiling face as ever. She's written in this book. Do
so
buy
it. You put people behind it after they've heard.
Thanks so much, Mum. Lovely seeing you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And your authenticity, and of course your love with us. We can all learn a lot from you, and God bless everybody. We will see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.